Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the No DQ live recap of Friday Night Smackdown for July the 17th, 2020. This was the final Smackdown before this Sunday's The Horror Show at Extreme Rules. And we had one more match set up for the pay-per-view and one match announced for next week's SmackDown. Shout out to everybody in the chat room for tuning in live. Thank you to everyone watching, whether it's live or on demand. If you enjoy this video, please do me a favor and share a link to this video. Tell a friend, spread the word, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Now, let's get started with SmackDown. We had a throwback. We had a Saturday night main event style opening video package with people from different matches cutting promos for their segment. We started with AJ Styles talking about his Intercontinental title defense against one Matt Riddle. AJ said that he lost last month to Riddle, but this time there's no element of surprise. He's had time to prepare against the barefoot bum. Then we had Matt Riddle talk for a little bit. He referred to AJ Styles as an arrogant jackass. That's what AJ must stand for, according to the bro that will soon run the show. Then we had Daniel Bryan from the woods, wherever his home is at. He was somewhere where there were a lot of trees, and he predicted a new champion. Then we had Alexa Bliss talk about her big Moment of Bliss segment. And WWE was hyping this up with a special mystery guest. Bliss said she would not bliss and tell about who this mystery guest would be. By the way, just for the record, Alexa Bliss went on Twitter right around the time SmackDown went on the air and said, "frustrated beyond belief." Very cryptic tweet from Alexa, and I'm sure fans will speculate on that one. Johnny Boy with a $5 super chat says, with the lack of big names due to the pandemic, why hasn't John Cena been around? It's not like he's doing much with movies, and do you think he would be around to help? Or you would think he would be around to help. Well, thank you for that super chat, Johnny Boy. I do appreciate it. I would not rule out, if WWE really needed John Cena, if Vince McMahon made the call to Cena, hey, I need your help. We got a match here. Would you come back? I think Cena would do it. Maybe WWE is not feeling desperate enough. We'll see what happens next week because we got SummerSlam coming up. Then again, WWE might not want to bring back John Cena without fans. Maybe WWE would rather wait until the first show with fans, and then you can hype that up, get people tuning back in. Hey, everybody, we got fans again. We're getting back to normal. That would make more sense, actually, I think. My gut feeling is WWE is just trying to ride out the storm. When the time comes, they're going to have fans again. I think WWE is going to fire on all cylinders. It's going to be all hands on deck. You're going to have John Cena, maybe The Rock. Would not shock me if WWE tried to get The Rock to make an appearance. Brock Lesnar, maybe Goldberg. You know, all the guys, all the big names are going to come back once there's crowds again to try and get people watching the shows again. And my man, TJS, with a $2 super chat says, where is Otis out of sight, out of mind? Cold feet? Well, people are speculating on Otis. There's the obvious reason, but of course, that's pure speculation. Nobody knows what's going on with Otis. But yeah, he's been gone. He's been gone since around the time that a lot of people tested positive for COVID-19. Now, it's possible Otis made the decision he wants to step away for the time being. There could be a number of reasons why he's not around. The legendary Mike B with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Mike B. I appreciate it. He says, updated from my horror show idea from last week, Aaron and Husky the Pig versus Rambling Rabbit and someone living in Portland. And he did the thinking face. I know who you're talking about, Mike B, and you're going to stress me out. So don't even tease it, because even just bringing up Portland brings back those so terrible memories of when my studio was destroyed. My set was destroyed by he who should not be named. And Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, hey, Slim Rift, have you seen 8 Mile? I saw clips of it. I don't think I've actually seen the entire movie. So, Caitlin, if you're watching this right now, she's in the other room. I have no idea if she has the stream on. I guess we're going to have to put that on the queue for movies to watch. There you go. Now that I'm in Detroit, I definitely need to watch it. So moving on here, to finish up with the Saturday night main event opening, we also had Strowman cut a promo, John Morrison and The Miz cut a promo, because Strowman was going to be facing Morrison in a one-on-one match. And I'm thinking to myself, why would anybody have any interest in seeing this? Braun Strowman beat The Miz and John Morrison in a handicap match. How are we supposed to believe that John Morrison would have any chance in hell against Strowman? But I'll talk about the match in a few minutes here. I definitely have some thoughts on that one. And then Cesaro cut a promo for his match with Big E. Big E cut a promo, and the stipulation of this match between Cesaro and Big E was that the winner would get to pick a stipulation for Extreme Rules, either a steel cage match or a tables match. We already had Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura introduce tables on last week's show. We all know where this was going, but we had to have a match here, and Kofi Kingston and Shinsuke Nakamura were at ringside. Nakamura took a cheap shot at Kofi, and then the referee almost got wiped out by Big E and Cesaro. And when the referee was turned around for a split second, we had Nakamura take a shot at Big E. Cesaro hit the neutralizer and scored the victory to be allowed to pick the stipulation for the pay-per-view. Cesaro and Nakamura brought out tables from under the ring, but then Kofi Kingston launched himself onto both of them, did a big dive, and then put Cesaro on the table. Kofi was going to jump off the top onto Cesaro through the table, but Shinsuke managed to pull Cesaro to safety. And then we had a backstage promo with Shinsuke and Cesaro. And basically, they talked about their options, and they decided on the tables match. Wow, they picked the tables match. What a shocker. So yeah, filler. It is what it is. Jay the Wrestling Fan with a $1 super chat. No comment, but thank you. I appreciate that. We had Matt Riddle backstage. Actually, no. Yeah, we did have Matt Riddle backstage with Drew Gulak preparing for his match. And then we had King Corbin interviewed about the match. He talked about how the honeymoon period is over for Riddle. Riddle has been playing with fire. He's going to get burned. And after SmackDown, the bro is going to be revealed as nothing more than a little boy. Then we had the big moment of the evening that everybody was waiting for. Alexa Bliss's moment of bliss with a mystery guest. Nikki Cross was out there. Nikki was not the mystery guest. They talked about the 5-year anniversary of the Women's Revolution, which was really the 5-year anniversary of Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky making their main roster debuts. Really, the revolution started, I think, when AJ Lee cut that pipe bombshell promo, but AJ Lee's not a WWE Backstage favorite, so that doesn't count. It's the women that are in WWE now. They're the ones that matter. So anyways, Nikki Cross talked about her match with Bayley. She was very hyped up, determined to win the title. Alexa questioned how many nitro brews that Nikki had. Then all of a sudden we had Bayley and Sasha come out, talked about how they are the architects of the women's revolution. They got in the ring, and then we had the mystery guest arrive. Was it AJ Lee making her big return? No. Was it Paige maybe to make a big announcement? No. Was it Tessa Blanchard making her WWE debut? No. Was it Stephanie McMahon coming out to announce Evolution 2, which has been rumored? No. It was Asuka. Asuka was the special guest that WWE was hyping, the blockbuster guest. Asuka came out, a big brawl erupted, and holla, 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 players. A tag team match was made. Asuka teaming up with Nikki Cross against Bayley and Sasha Banks. Bayley and Sasha have not missed a SmackDown since the pandemic began. They continue their streak. I'm curious to see when it will end. We should take bets on it. When will there be a SmackDown without Bayley and Sasha Banks? Very, very interested to see when that takes place. They have quite the streak going. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, why are people overhyped by WWE announcements? Good question. We should really know better by now. When WWE makes a big announcement, are we really going to get our hopes up for nothing? WWE could have just announced Asuka. Say, hey, it's the brand to bland. That's a way to put it. A brand to brand invitation. Brand to bland sounds more accurate, but there's this brand to brand invitation that WWE hyped up like a month ago, and you can say, well, Asuka's going to be on SmackDown for a special appearance. That's fine. She's a big name. But when you do this as a special mystery guest, it gets people's hopes up. They think it's going to be a big deal. And it really wasn't. DJW with a $2 super chat says, holla holla Aaron, LOL, thanks playa. No, thank you, DJ. I appreciate the super chat. So we had the tag team match, and the best part of this match to me was Asuka and Nikki Cross dancing on the announce table. I want to hear them on commentary together. That's what I've been waiting for. But anyways, the match was filler. Bayley ended up pinning Nikki while putting her feet on the ropes. Match really accomplished nothing. Did not establish Nikki as a credible challenger. She got beat, although Bayley cheated to win. But we could have said that anyways going in, that Bayley's a heel and she could possibly win by cheating. So this match really accomplished nothing. It was just time filler. Then we had Matt Riddle. I already talked about that with Drew Gulak. We had Daniel Bryan back in the woods. I'm not sure if this was in Washington because Phoenix isn't really known for the woods unless you go to like Flagstaff, which is quite a bit of a drive from Phoenix, but maybe they drove up to the woods and filmed this segment. Wherever Daniel Bryan was, he was somewhere very pretty. And he said that AJ is now being forced to become a fighting champion. We had Miz and Morrison backstage talking about horror movies in relation to Morrison's match with Strowman. Kind of cringy in my opinion. They were trying to be funny, and I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care about this match. DJW with a $5 super chat says, I kind of want to see Sasha win the title so they could be double dose champions. LOL. Could be semi-interesting and a first time ever. Well, to me, that's one of the more unpredictable matches, but I feel like Asuka's going to go on to face Baszler, at SummerSlam. That's just my gut feeling. Therefore, I think the storyline would be better with Sasha getting screwed by Bayley by accident, and that creates more drama and tension between the two of them. I really think WWE is going to go with Bayley and Sasha for SummerSlam. I know it's not Boston, which is what the original plan was, but I think the timing is right. I think you got to go with it and not drag this out too much longer. I think WWE needs to pull the trigger on it. They've been building it up for several months now. I think it's time to go with Sasha and Bayley for SummerSlam. We had a Firefly Funhouse segment, which was actually a Bray Wyatt promo at the Swamp. He talked about how he created a monster and how the monster had left him, or so he thought. Bray said the truth is, once you enter the swamp, you never truly leave. Part of you will live in the swamp forever. Bray knows the truth. Bray knows that the monster that's inside Strowman is waiting to come home. And Bray said he will destroy the monster that Strowman has become. Then we had the match between Strowman and Morrison. But before the match, Strowman cut a promo saying he is going to slap the devil himself in the face. He's going to go to the swamp and face his fears. The last thing he wants is for Bray Wyatt to turn into the Fiend. So he wants to end Wyatt before Wyatt ends him. Well, this pretty much gave away what's going to happen. I mean, we already knew SummerSlam's going to be Strowman versus the Fiend, but come on now. This all but confirmed it. So anyways, we had the match, which really wasn't a match. It was a squash. Less than 2 minutes. Wyatt tossed around Morrison, hit the power slam, and that was it. There was nobody else that could be fed to Strowman. No other heel on SmackDown. Mojo Rawley. I mean, anybody. Why Morrison? Morrison comes back to get squashed by Strowman in less than 2 minutes like a total jabroni. Whatever. Adrian with the $2 super chat says, Fred and Rosemary West are more over than Braun. I do not know who they are, but I will take your word for that, Adrian, because I know you tend to be right on the money with your comments. After the match, Strowman cut a promo on Wyatt and basically just said he hopes that Wyatt was watching because Strowman's coming home. He left, and then a medical team came out with a stretcher for Morrison, but with the help of The Miz, Morrison was able to walk out on his own, so I guess that makes up for him getting squashed, the fact that he walked out on his own, but still, whatever. Psycho Jet Black with the $2 super chat, thank you for that, says, WWE treats Morrison like a baby treats a diaper. Fairly accurate comment there. I would agree on that. And DJ W with a $5 super chat, thank you, DJ, says, we still waiting on that computer gimmick saying the truth will be revealed, aren't we? What happened to that? Looks like WWE dropped the angle. You know, they were teasing it for the longest time. It was rumored to be Ali or Chad Gable, and then nothing. Why not Chad Gable? Why not have him fed to Strowman? Like, I know they're both baby faces, but I mean, anybody on the roster but Morrison could have been fed to Strowman. Just my opinion. We then had Lacey Evans coming out as Miz and Morrison were exiting. And Lacey cut a brief promo saying she's going to have Naomi's glows turn into nothing more than sparkles. We had this match, and Lacey Evans is in fact back to being a heel. So much for the babyface run. Lacey ended up tying Naomi's hair into the rope, which is something I have not seen before. So creativity points for Lacey Evans on this one. And then she picked up the victory with the women's right to to build up her momentum as a heel now. We had Jeff Hardy interviewed backstage, and he was asked, why did he accept the Barroom Brawl match with Sheamus? Jeff said that, like an addiction, Jeff Hardy cannot hide from Sheamus, and it's risky for him to take the challenge, but to make Sheamus regret messing around with him, it would be worth it. He then started to talk about his predictions for AJ Styles versus Matt Riddle, when all of a sudden he got kicked by Sheamus, and Sheamus said he will cleanse Hardy of his demons next Friday on SmackDown. The bar fight, the barroom brawl, whatever you want to call it, not taking place at Extreme Rules, but rather next Friday on SmackDown. It's the match too extreme for Extreme Rules, damn it. And Adrian with a $2 super chat, thank you Adrian, says, hell, even Ted Bundy is more over than Braun Strowman. I think that's pushing it a little too extreme, Adrian. Ted Bundy was a piece of shit. Let's not put him over a fictional wrestling character. DJW with a $5 super chat says, this is Jeff Hardy's chance to get drunk for real during a match, LOL. I don't think that's going to happen, DJ. Thank you for the super chat. I think it's more likely that Jeff will take a bottle of alcohol and force Sheamus to drink it, and that'll be his revenge. Something like that. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, too many people in WWE are just happy to be there. Well, I'm not even sure about that anymore with COVID-19 and all the positive test results and Florida getting over 10,000 cases a day. Like, I don't know how many people are truly happy to be there at the very moment. I mean, a job is a job. I mean, that's important, but at what cost is the question. Kayla Braxton, speaking of COVID-19, has recovered and was backstage, resuming her duties, interviewing Sasha and Bayley. Bayley talked about having the momentum, and Sasha Banks is going to become Two Belts Banks. It's not just science, it's their destiny. And then we had Nikki Cross talking with Alexa Bliss. Nikki's confidence was shot. Alexa tried to motivate her, saying she's not going to blow it. Then Nikki attacked Bayley. Sasha and Nikki tried to break things up. Bayley yelled at Alexa to put a leash on Nikki. Still did nothing to make me care about this match. I care more about Sasha versus Asuka, way more than Bayley versus Nikki, which is a shame, but I don't think WWE did a great job of building this up. Virtue's here. What up, neckbeards, he says. And Ken terminated by Google with a $5 super chat. I keep saying Google. I'm just on the mindset of Google because he used that username for so long. He says, do you think John Morrison and The Miz are the modern day Paul Roma and Jim Powers? They are enhancement talents at this point. It's very depressing. I agree with you. That's a very solid comparison. Miz and Morrison, maybe Power and Glory because Paul Roma and Jim Powers were a babyface tag team, but they do feel like a Power and Glory tag team, like this lower tier team that gets a little bit of heat, but they end up getting their asses kicked when they're in there with the big stars. Pretty much what Miz and Morrison are at this point. And then we had our main event of the evening, AJ Styles versus Matt Riddle. Riddle had a hot start. AJ got frustrated, was pounding on the announce desk. Riddle started mocking Styles by pounding on the announce desk as well. Match went back and forth for a while. Submissions back and forth. Styles worked over the leg to set up the calf crusher. Riddle would counter, and then Styles would counter. Eventually, Styles ended up rolling up Riddle 1, 2, 3, picking up the victory clean over Matt Riddle. After the match, there was a handshake, and then all of a sudden, King Corbin attacked Riddle from behind. Styles took off, and then Corbin hit the end of days to Riddle to set up a match, whether it's at Extreme Rules or SmackDown or SummerSlam. They'll be fighting. The spoiler for this leaked out, by the way, the other day. So not a big surprise for a lot of people that read the spoiler. I didn't expect Riddle to win the title anyways. I figured Corbin would interfere, but WWE actually did a clean finish, so there you go. And that, everyone, is all I have to say for this week's SmackDown. Let's go ahead and do the letter grade. Average show. I mean, there were some things I did not care for too much, but some things were decent, some things were good. Solid C right in the middle, just very, very, very average SmackDown. Ken terminated by DQ, got it right this time with a $5 super chat, says, are you surprised that the IC title match didn't end up in a DQ by interference? By the way, Rift, you can call me Ken terminated by Google, or Ken for short. Well, thank you for that, Ken. I'll try to get your proper name here as I get used to it. I am a little surprised. I figured, Corbin would interfere. I mean, I was a little pleasantly surprised that Styles actually got a clean win. It's nice that the champion can actually win a match for a change without cheating. I mean, heaven forbid that ever happens. Jose Garza with a C. Kev with a C. Adrian with a 4 out of 10. Mike B with a B-. Curtis Butler with a C-. Michael Wayne with a C+. Brian Spencer with a C-. CC Drink with a B-. Matt Helms with a C. Mark Del Rio with a C. Calvin Bowman with a D-. Wow, Calvin did not like it. And Adrian said a pay-per-view this Sunday. Hard to keep track of things. Yes, this Sunday, NoDQ.com, live coverage of Extreme Rules. DJ W with a $10 super chat. Thank you very much for that, DJ. He says, sing it with me now, Aaron. I'm becoming. Judas in my mind. Yeah, Judas in my mind. Tune into No DQ&A video for more on Jericho's theme. Yeah, I'm not singing this week, but thank you for the super chat. That is a great song. Judas, maybe the best AEW song, but of course that's expected when it's Chris Jericho's theme song. If I tried singing it, I would make Sammy Guevara sound like Freddie Mercury. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, this Sunday, Extreme Rules and a new No DQ&A video going up 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Psycho Jet Black with a $5 super chat says, did WWE bring back 80s style backstage promos with the yelling and screaming, or is that too hokey for modern wrestling fans? Well, thank you for the super chat. I'm all for more yelling and screaming. I love the old style promos where the guys were all jacked up and they were just screaming, and people would joke that the wrestlers were doing coke before their promos. Like, those are the promos I like, when wrestlers sound like they're completely out of their minds. I'm very entertained by those 80 promos. The promos now sucked for the most part, in my opinion. I mean, they're good, but they feel very scripted, and I miss the energy of those old style promos. Adrian with a $2 super chat says, Aaron, will you sing My Lovely Horse for Curtis? Don't know the song, Adrian, so I have an out for that one. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Calvin Bowman is changing his letter grade to a C+. He has a change of heart. Oofman Entertainment with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Oofman. Says, any predictions on who may show up at Slammiversary? Well, thank you for that question, Oofman. I think we're probably going to see Anderson and Gallows against the Rascals. It's an open challenge. Seems like an obvious spot for Anderson and Gallows. And, I mean, it's really been no big secret that they're Impact bound. And for the Impact World Championship match, I'm guessing EC3. If I had to make a prediction, I would say EC3 shows up, wins the title, and then maybe Impact brings in one of the other guys, whether it's Heath Slater or Rusev or somebody, to feud with EC3 over the title. And Impact can start to maybe build some momentum for the first time in a long time if they can pick up a few of these free agents. Because Impact is really lacking in star power. Like when Ken Shamrock is your biggest star, like that's a sign you've really fallen off the map as far as significance in the industry goes. So we'll see. We'll see if this is the beginning of a new era for Impact, if they can start to rebuild their momentum and have some relevance again in the industry. Psycho Jet Black with the $2 super chat says, imagine a cocaine-fueled Ricochet promo. I wonder if Ricochet could even do an 80s style promo. That would be fun to see, like every WWE guy actually attempt to cut an 80s style promo to see who could actually do it. And if they could, let them do it more often. I mean, not everybody in the 80s could cut a great promo. Tito Santana was a lousy promo. Dino Bravo was a lousy promo. There were a number of guys that could not cut good promos. Ken Patera. You guys should Google it or YouTube it if you haven't heard it before. Ken Patera murders a promo. Awful, awful promo from Ken Patera. I mean, really bad. A lot of the guys that had managers, there was a reason they had managers. Adrian with a $2 super chat says, Aaron, what would you do for a 500 euros super chat? Well, Adrian, if you're even considering that, tune in Sunday night, because maybe I'll do something crazy if somebody wants to leave a big super chat. But you might as well save it till then, because that's when we're going to have a big audience. The most people are watching. And hey, I might end up line dancing without anybody having the super chat if Dolph Ziggler wins the title. I said if Dolph Ziggler becomes WWE champion at Extreme Rules, I will do a line dance to As Good As I Once Was by Toby Keith. So might already be an interesting stream on Sunday. DJW with a $2 super chat says, yeah, what would you do? That's a good one. That's a tough question to answer. What would Greg Cherry do for a 500 euro super chat? I'm going to say, if you're going to be that generous, give it to Greg, because Greg has been working hard with his streams and Wrestling Trivia Challenge, and I'd love to see him get the support. So seriously, if anybody out there wants to leave a super chat of that magnitude, give it to Greg. Greg is a really great guy, and he's been working hard. Ken Terminated by DQ with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Ken. Says, Psycho Jet Black and Aaron Riff, do you really want to hear Ricochet load up the rocket fuel or being a cream of the crop? LOL. I want to hear him talk about whining and dining with kings and queens and eating pork and beans. And I want to hear him talk about chopping down the mountain with the edge of his hand. I want to hear Ricochet talk about styling and profiling and talking about splitting the universe into two parts, all that crazy stuff, all those wacky promos from back in the day. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, Ricochet might be a good promo under drugs. Well, that's the running joke, that all the guys in the 80s were so coked up that, they just were able to be absolutely batshit crazy with their promos. And that's why they were so entertaining, because they were on drugs. It's funny how drugs can sometimes bring out the most entertaining moments from people. I mean, look at the Beatles, look at Sgt. Pepper, and the drugs that were involved in that production, and it's considered one of the all-time greatest albums, pieces of art of all time. Funny how that works. And as Adrian says, cocaine is one hell of a drug. I've never had any, so couldn't vouch for it. But don't do drugs. I've been around people that have done coke, i.e. Herb Abrams. So don't do it. You'll wind up dead in a limousine. And that's the story I heard. Going back to that Dark Side of the Ring with Herb Abrams. That's the story my dad got, that he died from a massive heart attack in a police car. I don't think it was a limo. I think it was a police car. And he had been like naked with a bunch of hookers, and there were drugs, cocaine, whatnot. So yeah, that story, that's the story that was going around since the time he died. Perfect example of to stay away from drugs. DJW with a $2 super chat says, we need a Savage Line of the Night championship. Have to do the emoji. Yeah. Maybe I'll have to introduce one. There's a Super Chat Championship. Maybe I have to do the Savage Line of the Night Championship. You're a genius, DJW. We got to have a no DQ set of championships. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 Super Chat says, imagine Slim Rift on drugs rapping. Yeah, that would not be pretty. I don't know how that would turn out. But my guess is it would not be very pretty. Highly unlikely in all likelihood that would be something of any quality. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, guys, that will wrap it up for this live stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video. But before I go, Ken Terminated by DQ with another $5 super chat, keeping me around here, says, perfect example, Rift. Was that a reference to poor Kurt Hennig? Kurt is one of my favorites, and I was sad when he passed away. Well, actually, no. I was not referencing Kurt Hennig, but, I mean, he did die young, and a lot of wrestlers died young. They lived fast. Wrestlers, especially in the 80s and 90s, they lived the rock star lifestyle, and it caught up with a lot of them, unfortunately. Now, it is a positive that wrestlers have cleaned up a bit, and we're not getting people dropping dead, which is very good for the business. But yeah, it was a dark period there when wrestlers were just dying one after another. Kurt Hennig, Davey Boy Smith, Big Boss Man, a lot of those 80s and 90s stars, Brian Pillman. It was a tough time. A lot of great talents were lost way too soon. And DJW with a $2 super chat says, greatest IC champion of all time, Aaron? Mr. Perfect. Perfect was up there. Definitely one of the better champions. Owen Hart was a great champion. Brett was a great champion. Brett was one of my favorites as far as the IC champions go. Shawn Michaels was another solid one. Razor Ramon, 4-time Intercontinental Champion. Chris Jericho, one of the greatest. Jericho's got to be up there. And I did enjoy Honky Tonk Man as the Intercontinental Champion. It was fun while it lasted. Anyways, guys, that's all for tonight. See you guys for the next live stream. No DQ&A video. Maybe a Slammiversary stream. I'm thinking about it. And then Extreme Rules. Lots of content. Stay tuned. Please keep spreading the word. Be safe. Stay positive. All that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time.